transitioning to the non-ejaculatory experience creates a lot of changes, not just in the dynamic of sex, but in how you feel afterwards, how you feel about it, how you and your partner relate to each other, and especially like, when does it ever end? Welcome, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can manifest your ideal life. If you want to learn more about sexual and self-mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos and go live. Make sure you get my free ejaculation control course through the link in the video description below. In this video, I wanted to address a common question people ask me, which is basically, when I'm having non-ejaculatory sex, how does it end? And when should it end? And does it ever end? So it's a definite change of paradigm when a man begins having sex that's not focused around his having an ejaculatory orgasm. Because obviously during sex, what normally would dictate when that sexual session ends is when the man ejaculates, because he simply can't keep having sex, right? Through porn and things, we're conditioned to see this as the end of sex and even the focal point of sex in a lot of ways as well. So transitioning to the non-ejaculatory experience creates a lot of changes, not just in the dynamic of sex, but in how you feel afterwards, how you feel about it, how you and your partner relate to each other, and especially like, when does it ever end? Because the truth is that it can last as long as you want it to. So first of all, it comes down to, when do you want it to end, right? And I think another question here is often, will I feel fulfilled at the end of sex without ejaculating? And that's something I'll touch on as well. And first of all, I have to mention that there's a definite difference between having non-ejaculatory sex in the sexual kung fu way, where you're circulating energy through the body, where you're bringing that energy to completion in some way, versus just having sex without ejaculating, having no idea what you're really doing energetically to discharge that tension that builds up inevitably in the genital region during sex. So these may be two completely different points here. And that's something I want to kind of educate you on as well, if you're not aware of how to energetically disperse the arousal in the body at the end of sex. So once again, basically, when you're having non-ejaculatory sex, it lasts as long as you and your partner want it to last. And that may be 20 minutes, it may be 7 hours, right? It really depends. But very likely there will be some point at which you'll feel fairly complete with the sexual session that you've had. Now, it may be a matter of communication between you and your partner. When I was beginning these practices, I would often ask my partner, hey, like, do you feel complete or do you want more? And as my practices evolved, especially as I've been in a long-term relationship, there's often just a feeling of knowing when we've both reached completion. I know obviously when I feel complete with the session, and over time I've learned to feel when my partner feels complete with our sexual connection as well. So there will often be a natural ending to it, right? And again, communication can be a part of that. But then this leads us to, well, how do I end it though? If I'm still, rock hard, if I'm still super horny at the end of sex. So this is really about bringing the act to completion and bringing the energy to completion. Because the whole thing with arousal is it's this drive, it's this driving energy. It's a pressure, it's a bit of a tension buildup in the body. And we have to learn how to disperse that tension, how to disperse and transmute that energy, sublimate it, right, into something that the body is comfortable holding onto. Because if you end sex with all this energy, packed into your genitals, you're going to get blue balls probably. And that's very uncomfortable. It won't kill you, but if you're doing that every time, it's going to be very uncomfortable and painful. So what we want to do is bring that charge and that pressure to a state of completion without ejaculating. And this is where the sexual kung fu techniques come in. Basically, it's a matter of circulating and moving the energy out of the genitals. What does ejaculation do? It shoots all this energy outward. It shoots it out of your body. The problem with that is that if you're doing it every single time, you're losing energy, you're losing life force, you're shooting out your vitality, basically. Obviously, you can do it in moderation, but if you're overdoing it, we all know that that's going to dry you up and accelerate the aging process. So the alternative to shooting it out of your body is to shoot it up internally. Well, that sounds a bit weird, but basically, there's a few different sexual kung fu techniques where one is orgasmic breathing, where you're drawing the energy through the energy channels of your body. Using your breath, using your mental awareness, you're sweeping that energy upwards in your body. Another technique, which is a bit amped up, we could say, is called a power lock, which is a technique that creates a pressurization that draws the sexual energy out of the genitals, bringing it into the dantian or into the organ system, the glands, the various energy channels of the body. There's a lot of places you can bring the sexual energy into, right? So those are two different techniques. Check out my testicle breathing video and my power lock video to learn the basic mechanics of those practices. But something I will share here is that basically, as you're wrapping up sex, you want to draw the energy out. And the way you do this is by breathing deeply into your belly, deep, rhythmic, slow, belly breathing, and think of breathing the energy, moving your mind from the genitals. Imagine your whole body's absorbing this arousal like a sponge. So you just, as you're breathing, feel like your whole body's just breathing in this energy, this arousal. And you'll notice after a few minutes of doing this, your arousal will start to diminish. Your erection will start to go away. Now, you and your partner can both do this together. This can be a beautiful practice where you're both drawing this energy that you generated together and storing it in your body. And after several minutes of this, you will feel less of an edgy horniness and more of a relaxation and feeling more or less complete with the sexual session. So basically breathing that energy into your entire body, absorbing it, and now you've captured the charge of that sexual energy that you generated with your partner that you would have otherwise just released from your body at the end. And now you can put that into something creative, into something productive, into your work, whatever. You can do a lot of things with that energy instead of just losing it. So it charges you up. And learning the power lock process really amps up this drawing of the energy out of the genitals during sex. When you get really good at that technique, it will powerfully pull that arousal out. You'll experience a subtle full body orgasm state and you'll feel fairly complete. And talking about this completion at the end of sex, it's going to be very different than how you feel after ejaculating, because after ejaculating, you completely discharged, right? You've released your entire charge of arousal. You're actually often feeling a bit empty, deflated. And most men are used to feeling this way. So finishing sex with the non-ejaculatory techniques, even though you're drawing the energy out, you're still going to have a degree of arousal and desire at the end of sex. And I think this is a good thing, because if you're just constantly releasing all desire, releasing all drive, you're gonna find yourself feeling depleted and empty. So this is why it's important to train in the whole sexual kung fu system, because when you learn to open up your channels, ground your energy, open more space in your body, you feel okay with having some sexual desire, a bit of arousal after having sex. Plus it means that you're ready to go 24/7. You're in your maximum vitality, maximum potency 24/7, and your maximum creative energy as well. It's a bit like when you have a meal, you don't want to totally gorge yourself so that you're absolutely stuffed and even like sick from eating so much food for hours. Same thing with sex. You don't want to overindulge so much that you feel completely empty and depleted at the end and have absolutely no more sexual desire. There should always be this degree of desire within you. So learning to be okay with that is one of the keys to mastering this non-ejaculatory sexual kung fu lifestyle. So again, just to sum things up, instead of ejaculating at the end of sex, you do the practices to draw the energy up, store it in the body, even do like some meditation afterwards, or just lay on the ground, relax, and let that energy integrate into your system. You won't feel excessively horny when you do it right, and you'll now be charged up with all this creative sexual energy to put into other things. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to train in greater depth in the sexual kung fu techniques to open up the channels of the body, clear negative emotions and blockages, learn to circulate your sexual energy through your body so you can have non-ejaculatory sex all the time safely with no negative side effects and live the semen retention lifestyle, check out my 12-week course, Multi-Orgasmic Man. I'll put more information in the description of this video. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and let me know in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway from this video. Have a great day, my friends.